Dad's voice cut through the laughter like glass. "She's the future of this family," he said, raising his glass toward my sister. "To Emily, the smart one, the heir to everything." The room clapped. Champagne fizzed, and I just smiled. I sat at the far end of the dining table, the quiet spot, as Mom liked to call it. My seat since childhood, far enough that my silence never interrupted their pride. Emily had just turned 25, Harvard graduate, a golden resume, polished by their money and my invisibility. The same money they told me I wasn't responsible enough to touch. They called me the creative one, their polite way of saying failure. I used to believe them until tonight, because tonight I wasn't the dumb one in the room. It started a year ago the night Emily came home from New York. She tossed her keys on the marble counter and said, "You still living here? Thought you'd have moved out by now." I laughed it off like I always did. But later that night I overheard her talking to Dad in his study. "She's harmless," she said. "Let her paint or whatever. You and I both know she'll never run the company." Dad chuckled. "She's lucky she's family." Something cracked then. Not loud, just a quiet, precise break. That was the night I stopped being harmless. I started watching, listening. People show you everything when they think you're beneath them. Dad was moving assets not to protect the company, but to hide money. Offshore accounts under a shell corporation, one I recognized. I'd seen the name before. In the email Emmeline left open on her laptop, it was my name. They'd created a fake version of me, Laura Holdings, a dummy company under my identity, quietly absorbing blame for their financial manipulations. If the SEC ever looked too closely, I'd be the one facing fraud charges. I didn't confront them, not yet. I just started collecting things. Copies, signatures, timestamps, and one name, a lawyer's name who helped build their house of lies. For 6 months, I built my own case in silence, moved quietly, learned faster than they ever thought I could. I hired a forensic accountant under a fake identity, transferred key evidence into an encrypted drive, and found the weak point. Dad's new charitable foundation run by Emily. It wasn't charity, it was a laundering funnel. The irony, they'd made me the technical CEO of that foundation, again, in name only. So, I signed a few papers of my own. One morning, while Emily was in Paris and Dad was golfing, I filed a report with the SEC, anonymous, detailed, traceable to their accounts. Then I waited. The birthday dinner was the finale, catered, extravagant, performative, cameras for their social media announcement, the official air of the family business. I could have walked away then, let the authorities handle it quietly. But that would have been mercy, and mercy was never something they gave me. So I called the lawyer, the same one who helped them steal my name, told him there was a new client interested in buying Dad's company. I knew he'd mention it. He always followed the scent of money. He did exactly what I expected. Told Dad he needed to sign a few updated ownership documents to secure future investments. Documents I'd rewritten, documents that transferred controlling interest to me. Dad signed them that morning, careless, confident, arrogant. Back to the dinner he stood, glass raised, pride swelling. Emily will inherit the company, the mansion, and, of course, he gestured toward the Tesla parked outside. Our gratitude for being the daughter who made us proud. Laughter, clapping, cameras. I didn't move. Then the door opened. A man in a dark suit stepped in, walked straight to me, and handed me an envelope. He leaned down, whispered just loud enough, "It's time to tell them who you really are." The room stilled. I stood calmly. No drama, just clarity. "Before you continue celebrating," I said, "I think you should see something inside the envelope. Legal documents, transfer records, SEC notifications." Emily frowned. "What is this?" Dad took the papers, his voice cracking mid-sentence. This can't be right." "Oh, but it is," I said. "You signed everything over this morning to me." Silence. You could hear the crystal tremble. "I found out about the offshore accounts, the foundation, the fraud under my name." I smiled softly. "You built an empire on lies. I just made sure they had your signature on every one of them." Emily's lips parted. "You can't." But the lawyer had already left, and through the window, blue lights flickered across the driveway. They say revenge should feel sweet. It doesn't. It feels quiet. Watching my father's expression collapse wasn't joy. It was justice, slow, complete. For the first time, I wasn't the dumb one. I was the one who waited, watched, and learned. The mansion, the company, the fortune, all mine now, but those weren't the prizes. My parents mocked me for being the dumb one.